Hello grapplers and welcome to a new video. I've been watching a lot of replays lately, from Junior to Kobayan to other Zangief players that have been participating in tournaments like CEO, World Warriors, and I've come to the conclusion there are some things that might need to be changed, or at least we have to analyze how effective they are. Super common, this is like Zangief 101. For some reason, a lot of Zangief players love doing this, and this is probably the only one I can say objectively it just sucks, and that's crouchy light punch into headbutt. Let's start with the reasoning. Why do you want to do this? It's pretty obvious, you want headbutt. You can backdash this, you can jump this, and also you can punish this by using a crouchy medium punch that is 6 frames, 7 frames, and also a 4 framer. That is crouchy medium punch from Ryu, 6 frames, and now 4 frames. There's another variant that could work sometimes, and this basically covers crouchy light punches, which is 2 lights into headbutt. This could work. Now this goes a little bit more in depth. There's a reason why this is so bad and why Zangief, well, doesn't have much to do here. And that is because his 7 framers, well, are pretty slow. Standing light kick, Hell Stab. And particularly Hell Stab is his combo ender sometimes, combo filler, combo starter, so you want to almost always go into Hell Stab from any of your combos. Since this is 7 frames and this is +1, you get beaten. And if you do manage to trade, you're gonna be only +1 and spaced, which is not the best. You can technically go for light SPD here, but they can backwalk that light SPD and punish you, so it's not a really good position. And since Zangief is one of the few characters, and this is a good thing, he doesn't have a gap here. However, even though I said it's a good thing, it also creates some issues where you want a frame trap here, like any other character that has a gap between the chain of lights. Since that is not the case for Zangief, his only real answer for situations like this is this. And you're gonna be +6. Again, you can delay an SPD here, but they can backdash or jump. The issue is that +6. Since you're +6 and your 7th framer, well, for once, doesn't reach, and second, your 7th framer that could reach is, well, 7 frames and not 6, you start to see the issues here. They can mash their 4 framer, their 6 framer. So literally from this into headbutt, you have a large gap they can cover with buttons. How do you fix this? This is something you have to actively do, and it's a very high level thing you have to practice, and in the future you will be thankful for just practicing this right now. A delayed chain. Go to the training mode, put any character to do their crouchy light punch or crouchy light kick in some cases, and count 1. That means blocking 1 attack will allow them to go for the crouchy light punch. And you'll see that if I press 2 crouchy light punches, they cannot get the crouching light punch in between. Here you start slightly delaying your crouching light kick or crouching light punch. You'll see that I'm not doing the delay, and if I do it, that is a counter hit +2. And you have to do the same thing with crouching light punch, crouching light punch. And you'll see that if they're mashing something, that is a +8, and if you see that +8, you can confirm into Hell Stab, Lariat. Remember to mix it up with crouchy light kick, just to have a low in case they want to parry mid or parry low, they have to guess, so mix it up with this. If you're far, I can see some other buttons being useful here, like this and so on and so on. You have more options, but if you're up close, which is the moment where you go for that headbutt, you might as well delay your crouchy light kick or your crouchy light punch and get used to the timing, because it takes a little bit of time. This is something that happened to Kobayan. More than actually avoiding this setup, it's just about the hows and whys. He got a perfect parry and he backed through Colibri, also a Ryu player, and he did this. There's a few issues over here and we're gonna cover them all so you can just know. First of all, the back throw is +8. If you want to go for a headbutt, that headbutt will cover movement options, basically jumps and backdashes. And my headbutt will cover that. You're just 2+. Headbutt. Now what happens if they press crouchy light punch in this case? If they press crouchy medium punch or a 6 framer, you will trade. And that trade is +6, doesn't give you much. Again, almost the exact same situation with the standing light punch. You can delay an SPD here, but they can backdash or jump. The SPD has to be, first of all, light, medium or OD, and it has to be delayed because you're +8 by 4 frames at least. Takes a while to get used to this timing. This timing is not easy to get. But once you do, you will catch buttons. And you can also get, before I forget, crouching medium punch which is not a melee, it's just a crouching medium punch. Since you're +8, you go for crouching medium punch +8. You have to DRC this if you really want to get this. And this creates a little bit of an issue because your options after crouching medium punch, even though they're not bad, probably your best one is crouching medium punch into crouching medium punch, should be +3 after DRC. And you also have my super secret option. I don't know if you want to do this, but technically you can DRC from crouching medium punch up close into Russian suplex, and that catches 4 frames. Crazy. You can do this. The problem in that situation with Kobayan was not the Oki, and it was not that he whiffed the SPD, even though he did. The issue was the why. He was, I think, around here in terms of health, maybe even less. And Colibri had this. Colibri was in Burnout. Even if you do get the SPD, you have to absolutely drive rush and keep the pressure going. This entire situation is not comfortable for Zangief. Even though you want the damage of SPD, the reality is it's far better for you to keep Ryu in the corner, especially if he's in Burnout. So there's a few things you can do. You can, well, just go for crouching medium punch into the eye if you want to be cheeky, or you want to do the headbutt. Probably unlikely for Ryu to wake up with a button if he's in Burnout. However, he had super, so that's something you have to consider. The point being, you want Ryu to be in the corner. This is not a bad thing to do. You should go for headbutt, you should go for crouching medium punch, you should go for a delayed SPD. Just think about what you're getting out of that sequence, and that is more important. Go for SPD, you drive rush, and you knee. Oh no, my knee got interrupted. In terms of Oki with Zangief, his Oki after SPD is not the best. If you really want to catch buttons with knee, you have to do the knee very early. And even then you can trade. And if you get the knee, you're gonna be +8, and sometimes you're not in range for health stab. Your option might be crouching medium punch into OD Lariat at that range. And this is if you want to catch a button. What's the issue with knee then is that if you don't want to catch a button, you have to do the knee up close or closer. If you do it at the same range I was doing the knee to catch the crouching light punch, I will whiff it. So you need to delay it even more, assuming the opponent will not press anything, and then you can go for knee. This is extremely difficult to actually get in a match, and you don't know how many times a Zangief player, even at top level, tries to go for the knee that interrupts buttons when the opponent doesn't want to do anything, and they end up with the knee in their face, recovering, and they die. This is a big issue. Zangief doesn't have the best Oki from SPD. I don't want the Oki to be loopable. I want to leave that out there, but I want him to have at least something better, because your options are extremely limited. Drive versus standing medium punch, that gets you nothing. You will whiff the target combo. So drive rush into crouching medium kick, very lackluster. The spicy one, drive rush into standing heavy punch, and you have to delay the standing heavy punch a little bit. You have to charge it because they can wake up with the eye. This is the other one. Objectively best options, because technically, of course, if you have them super scared, you can do a drive rush and delay completely from here and get another SPD. But if they're waking up with buttons, your options are super limited and you have to always be guessing. As something you have to consider, sometimes you have to go for that knee or you have to go for that SPD, but remember that you have to earn those. The Oki from super level 3. You are +26, no Oki. If you follow this with the standing light kick, which is the common one, you can be beaten. You have to do that standing light kick very early, and then you can go for something like this. And while you can catch certain crouching medium punches, like this, if you miss time your standing light kick after super level 3, you will be beaten. And some buttons are really good to stop Zangief, so this is character dependent. Some characters like Ed or Honda have really good buttons to stop this. The also issue is that what happens if they wake up and they're just blocking? And if they don't press anything, guess what? You will whiff your standing light kick. That drive rush standing light kick is only for when they press a button. If they don't do anything, you have to delay it, opening yourself for a possible button. And if they wake up blocking, you have to drive rush again if you really want to keep the pressure going and do something like this. It is super common for Zangief players to do this exact sequence. They are in Burnout after super level 3. They basically lost the round, even though they got 4,800 damage. Be careful with Adoki, because it's not 100% real, and it's very dependent on what the opponent wants to do. It's not about you, it's what they want to do. And I guess I should cover that one, but this is not necessarily in the script. In fact, it isn't. Be careful about drive rushing. I mean, I know you want to get the damage, but doing this, I don't know if that's a great idea. If they block the first sequence, you shouldn't go into another drive rush. I don't think you're gonna open them up with the second one. If you do, you're gonna be losing so much drive meter that at that point it's not worth it even. This is a very junior thing, especially because I saw Topanga a few moments ago. Well, yesterday really. I haven't talked about Topanga. The short story is that neither Kobayan or Junior qualified. Headbutt, Hell Stab, heavy SVD. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but this obviously has a cap, 10 frames. And this has a 3-frame gap. Mix up your headbutts. You don't have to go into this all day. You can obviously do crouching light kick, which is a true block string. I know it's not the best, but you have to do it. Or maybe you do a headbutt into nothing, or headbutt into SVD, or headbutt into crouching light punch, just to mess them up with a +1. You also beat 4 frames with that crouching light punch. It's still gonna be a +8, so you can go for this. It is something. Sometimes the fight allows you to do so, and if that's the case, please, because it is pretty wild when Zangief players can just go crazy. It's not something that happens very often in this game, but if that's the case, just But bear in mind that every headbutt has a gap, and it's a huge one. They're not necessarily 100% real. Some of them you have to use them carefully, but you have to use them. But they're gonna make you a better Zangief player if you really understand when you have to use them, or if they're worth going for. As always, take care of yourselves, keep playing grapplers, hydrate. If you really liked this video, please subscribe. Go to the Siberia Lab on Twitch, we're having fun, and I'm gonna be seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.